everyone, and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, welcome on in, and if you are returning, welcome back. My name is Destiny and I play a lot of Dreamlight Valley and other farm sim games over on Twitch and TikTok live. Today we are going to be creating an autumn themed farm build. This area is going to be the home to a spare cottage house as well as Goofy's in the Forest of Valor. I did try to make this video as short as I possibly could, but because it is a large build, it is slightly longer of a video, so let's get started. What I am doing is I am lining out the start of my pathway using the gravel with border path, and I decided to use this path because it is the newer path. Also, it's going to reduce my item count by a lot when I'm not lining the path with a bunch of rocks. So I did want to house the cottage house, which I am going to turn into like a granny's house style build, where it's gonna be cozy on the inside, and I wanted to reflect that on the outside. I did use the Dreamlight tree to be part of this build because I am searching for locations for my Dreamlight trees. So if you do have any other locations or ideas of where I can use these Dreamlight trees, please drop them down in the comments, as I have 3 more trees to figure out where to place them in Valley 3.0. If you are new here and don't know yet, I did get the 201 error when I did the haunted mansion as my house skin, and instead of waiting the 6 days for Dreamlight Valley to go ahead and restore access to the game, I decided just to completely wipe my game. So some materials are brand new to me, as I did not have them before the update, such as the veggie and fruit stands as well as Wally's bathtub. So I'm super excited to be able to work with some of these newer items that are new to me. I was really excited to start working on this area of the forest due to the Dream Snap, and so the Dream Snap submission for this week definitely gave me some ideas on what to do with this area of the forest, which I was really happy for, because I was split between doing an autumn themed area or doing an enchanted forest type of feel, and now I feel like with my valley I can split it into 2 different sections. So I have my autumn farm and do an enchanted area, which will be a later build. However, that build might get split up, as this build took a lot longer of a video to piece everything together. So if you have any ideas on how I can make these videos shorter and more enjoyable, please let me know, as I don't want to continue making 20-minute long videos, especially since I can't talk for that long and have it be an engaging conversation. Since there was going to be so much detailing in the front of the house, I did end up keeping the back of the house fairly clear of any clutter and kept the pathway clear. So if you don't know, with the cottage house, you can use the front and back door of the house, and I wanted to be able to have access to be able to use both doors, whether I was coming in from Frosted Heights or if I was coming in from the main entryway of the forest. So I didn't talk about this location before, but I wanted it to sell all the fruits and vegetables that come along with this farm and to be able to be basically a farmer's market with a hidden entrance to Elsa's cave. Her cave is in the most inconvenient location ever. I really wished her cave was relocated to Frosted Heights just to give us a little bit more of the forest to work with, because it feels out of place when you are building. So I did try to use as many buildings to hide as much as possible with bushes and trees and just overlap my items so you couldn't tell her cave was there until you were close enough to it. I have previously done Goofy's home as a farm build in the past, so I knew that his house definitely had the aesthetic that I was going for. I also wanted to incorporate some more areas for plants and vegetables, anything that I needed that I wouldn't get out of Wally's garden. Now, in this build, Wally's garden is not a part of it because his garden is really huge and I felt his garden would take away from the space, so I am going to eventually make Wally's garden a completely separate build in a different area of my valley, and I thought that this would be fantastic to help spread out all of the fruits and vegetables and ingredients. So if I needed to consume any for energy, it didn't matter what location I was, I would always not have to walk too far for food. Having access to fishing locations are also really important, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough walk space to be able to get to the bubbles that typically form in this location, while at the same time blocking out some areas so that way if I ended up needing to chase after coins, they weren't going to be in hard to reach locations, because there's nothing more annoying than trying to go for a coin and you can't get it without going into furniture mode, and then by then the coin is completely gone. This back area that I am working on is going to be the main pumpkin patch, which I wanted to put it further in the back because I wanted to fill the area, and I felt like this space is typically an awkward space to transition to. So I filled in with all of the pumpkins, which I cut any time that I was filling in with crops out of the video to try to save the length of time, because this is a much longer video than what I normally post, which is around the 16-minute mark, and this almost was 20 minutes, and I don't know how many of you guys are still here and sitting through this, but if you are a trooper. this awkward like 3 space gap area. It was the perfect area to put the blueberry bushes, and I did have to move a couple trees around as I didn't have enough room to fit all 5, and I wanted to keep them grouped together as much as possible. And it's the raccoon's favorite food, so why not have it conveniently located? If you can't tell, I typically build by feels, and so usually I will lay out the bigger pieces and then I will go in with smaller decorative pieces in the build. I did decide not to put this white sign as I felt the white clashed a little too harsh with all of the wood tones and oranges and yellows that I was putting into this build. So I didn't use any signs. I also placed raspberry bushes. I did have to put them in groups of 3 in different locations because they did not fit. So, I am also someone that, even though I might have a pathway that goes a certain direction, I absolutely love shortcuts and making little secret paths in my builds or cut areas that I can go ahead and run through instead, and just give myself different ways of getting to different places. Now we are getting to the fun part, which is putting food items down that remind me of fall. And honestly, sometimes farms will have ice creams and apple pies or candy apples. There isn't a donut in this game, and I really wish there were donuts so that way I can place a couple donuts out, because apple cider donuts are amazing and we always get them from the farm. So I think they would just be the perfect food item to be added into the game. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and please remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this build and would want to be notified for any future content and builds.